This is cricket yard. The grip's an important part of the game. This is how I do it. Alright, yeah, so to get pretty technical, which I don't like to do normally, but it's important to get technical with the grip, because if your grip's not right, you're gonna have to be an exceptional player to succeed. So if you make a little V with your hand, with your thumb and your index finger, and you run it down the left side of this bat, you come up to more or less this angle here on the grip. That's where I like to have my V of my left hand. Alright, and same with my right hand. I put it pretty much in the same spot there, just on the left hand side of the left edge of the bat. Alright, if I get the V's right, just on the left there of the middle of the top of the grip, I sort of just grip it then. When I hold it, it's important not to have an angle on your wrist. Alright, it must be really firm, straight down, not bend this way or that way. And right throughout your shot, it needs to stay similar to this. Alright, this gives you really strong power in steering the ball wherever you want to. Your right hand is obviously the power hand. They talk often about the bottom hand, so this is the right hand for a right-handed batter. Also, I like to have the view in a similar kind of line, but with this hand, you only hold with the two fingers. Alright, so don't worry if you can't get all the fingers on. More often than not, you'll only have two fingers on the bat. Make sure it's nice and tight on there, and every now and then your fingers will get on, but it will happen naturally. Don't think about it. These two fingers are the most important. Get it on that line, on the same line as your left hand, and then once you feel comfortable, you're ready to go. I can think of some of my friends, a guy like Graham Smith, who was an incredible cricket player, but his grip was very strong on his left hand, which meant that he had a bit of a bent on his wrist and a very closed face. He still made it work because he's a very talented human being, but it sort of limited him in some of the shots, especially through the offside. He found it really difficult to open up his bat. Whereas if you have this strong grip running down the left hand side of the bat, you are open to play the ball wherever you want to. You can hit it through point. So that is a good example of a full drive. Getting a little bit more power, really allowing my hands to go through the ball. But the difficulty of a full drive is if you play it a little bit early, you're going to be in big trouble. I use the full drive a lot when I'm trying to hit big boundaries, one bounce fours and sixes, and I tend to hit it a little bit straighter than those that go squarer. The tricky thing about a full drive is you really rely on the pitch conditions, because you don't have time to see the ball bounce and come into your box. You're sort of leaving the box a little bit in order to get a little bit more power. I don't use this shot very often unless I go for a big six and a little bit straighter. Oh, sure, it's out of the middle that. Very funny way, the pull shot and the late defensive shot goes hand in hand. If you play both of them really well, the bowler's under big pressure, especially the pull shot. I use the pull shot to put pressure on the bowler. Once I master that shot and I've got a good late defensive stroke, the bowler has got a long day ahead of him. Technically with a pull shot, to start off with, the stance. So I do my normal back and across trigger. Now very important for me, and mentally for the bowler, against the bowler as well, is your next movement to be going forward. So I like to do the back and across, be really still. When I see it short, I do a little press with my front foot in order for me to really get my momentum moving forward. And from there on, I rock back with my back foot, going across a little bit, and to get into good position to play the pull shot. Notice how I use my back foot to really stabilize myself and to get into strong position. When you're not into a good position, you will tend to commit yourself to the shot and you won't be able to pull out when there's a bit of bounce. When I'm in a solid position with my feet, there's always time to pull out of the shot when there's a little bit of bounce and when it's getting too steep on you. To really free up my arms, it's important for the ball not to be in line with my head. Just outside, so I can free up my arms on the offside, or just outside the leg side, so I can play a hook shot down to fine leg. But never in my throat, head area, because that'll cramp you and the ball will go straight up. Ideally, for the pull shot, the ball should be just outside your eye line. Never get a short ball to be coming straight at your head, because that'll mean you'll be taking your eyes off the ball. Really important with the pull shot, when you get into a good position, for the right arm to extend. Never keep this right arm bent through the shot. The right arm's got to extend, almost like a forearm tennis shot, if you know what I mean. And also, when you speak about a forearm tennis shot, you know that you do a bit of topspin, you've got to have the same kind of action with a pull shot. So, extend your arm, let the wrists roll through the ball. It's really important to rock forward first in order for you to get into a good solid position with your front foot. From there on, the pull shot's very instinctive. You get a bit of stability on your back foot and you let your arms just flow through the ball. Remember, right arm has got to extend a bit. I extend my right arm as much as possible in order for me to get the ball nice and in front of square. It's obviously important when they've got a square leg and a fine leg out to keep the ball on the ground. The further the ball goes outside your eye line, the harder it is to keep it down. So you really have to get onto your toes and make sure you roll over. To me, playing the short ball or the pull shot is an instinctive shot. So there's already a lot of power involved. There's no need to overhit it. I always just try and time it and make sure I place it in good areas. And when the time is right and you're in a good position.
Hi guys, I'm Virat Kohli. And today I'm going to speak a bit about a few shots that I play regularly. Firstly, the cover drive, playing along the ground, on the up, inside out, plus the on drive and the flick as well. These are the shots that I really like to play, so I just want to speak a bit about that. Firstly, the cover drive, I think the most important thing is to have a good balance when you're driving the ball. The weight should be somewhere around the 3/4 area of your foot, which is called the balls of your feet, and somewhere around here. Just the base of your toe, the big toe, just that bone, that's where you balance the foot normally. And you need to have a good strong base when you're cover driving the ball. Obviously you need to have foot movement, plus your head position is very important as well. You can't be behind. If I show you from the side, you can't play the cover drive like that, or you can't play it like that. Your head should always be where your toe is, and that's how your body is dictated when you're playing the drive. And that's where you connect the ball close to your body and close to your head. And that's where it stays in control. So there are a few ways of playing it. Playing along the ground really depends on the kind of length the ball is pitched at. So mostly when you play the drive along the ground, it will mostly be in the area very close to your foot, or maybe just where you stand in your stance, just where the foot is. So you need to adjust accordingly. If it's just in the half volley area, you need to take the foot towards the ball as you put your stride in. You have to figure if the ball is close enough for you to play it along the ground or on the rise. So along the ground, again, contact point is very important. It has to be close to your pad, close to the body, depending on the length. If it's above your toe or ahead of your toe, then obviously you have to play along with your pad and make sure the follow through is such that the ball bounces right in front of you first. Or if the ball is a bit fuller, then I think the sensible thing to do, which I do most often is sort of go for the drive. When I place my foot, I rather just collapse my back foot rather than bending on the front foot, but my head still stays here and I sort of connect the ball closer to my back leg, still keeping the head where I need to connect the ball. So that's very, very important, just to collapse the foot according to the length. Otherwise you're going to end up yorking yourself or hit it up in the air. Secondly, on the rise, it's very important to practice such things in your practice sessions. If the ball is a little away from you, you need to sort of read the length and try to hit. Again, driving is all about hitting the ball as close to your body as possible. So when you're driving on the up, you need to make sure that you're connecting the ball in a way that you can see the ball bounce in front of you, before heading out in the outfield. It should be, just around 2 feet in front of you, the ball should have bounced. That's when you know that you've actually connected the ball really well and you are in control of the drive you've played. If it goes up in the air, then more often than not, it's just a risky shot that came off. It's never in that much control. So I think those are the most important things when it comes to driving the ball. Keeping your head position right, just above your toe, not too forward, not behind, and your feet always have to be balanced. And secondly, playing the inside-out cover drive to the spinners mostly, which happens. The key is to get, outside of the ball, and not cramp yourself. So you need to give yourself a bit more room when you're playing the inside-out drive, and you actually need to read the length of the ball and the line of the ball when it comes out of the bowler's hand. So the decision-making in that is pretty quick, and you need to give yourself enough room for the bat from here to go there, and then come with the follow through, hitting past the inside out drives. So that's the key. I think as quickly as you can make room for yourself, you are able to create that room and hit the drive inside out. Speaking about the on drive and the flick, again the head position is very important. A lot of people make the mistake of opening their front toe when wanting to flick or on drive the ball. I think the key is to still have a good batting position, again good balance, and your toe should always be pointing towards mid-off. Never open up too much, because that just makes your body open up too much and you're never in control. So this way your body is always side on, which is the way to play cricket. And again, to connect the ball in an on drive or a flick, it's very important the head stays ahead of your pad a little bit. In this case, you can't be behind, you can't be just there. You have to stay slightly ahead so you can connect the ball and not let it hit your pad. So I think these are the most important things when you're playing these shots. Your head position, the balance of your feet, and your hip position. It shouldn't open or move too much. Balance is the key as far as batting is concerned, and that's something I focus on as well. So if you want to try these shots, if you want to master these shots, work on your balance, work on your head position. Your batting is all about where your head takes your body. So when the head moves rightly and in balance, your body is going to be going in sync with it, and you feel more balanced when you bat out there in the middle. So good luck in trying these shots.